must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Good morning, viewers. Thank you very much for watching Punchline Africa television broadcasting all the way from Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, in the political command center of East Africa, somewhere waiting to see how things work out in this country. Good morning, Miriam, in Nairobi, Kenya. How are you doing?
A very good morning to you, Dr. Nairobi is pretty well this morning. How is Dar es Salaam?
Very good. And the coastal areas of the Indian Ocean. And climate, the weather is fantastic. Today in the morning, temperatures are fantastic. The people are lovely. Africa is growing. Africa is moving forward. South of Dar es Salaam, the top of Mozambique, there is a war medium between the rebels of Al-Shabaab, the small group of Al-Shabaab, a rented cell. We want to take this opportunity to thank Rwanda for intervening in the Mozambican war, and they have silenced the rebels. It looks like we are about to rejoice and say hallelujah. I don't know how the situation in Nairobi is, but back to Nairobi in Kenya. Good morning, Miriam. Good morning. I can see Douglas Kirimi across in Meru. Good morning, Douglas. As I can see, you arrange your equipment. Good morning. We can see, yes. Yesterday you were on your trail, and that was very good. I saw at least I'm impressed. And then my last coin that I'm collecting, whatever I am collecting, will come to you to see that you put. People were asking me, is this not the man who was doing analysis on your television? Has he changed to be Safina? I told them you refused to give him a ticket, and therefore he had no alternative. The younger man wanted to be somehow in politics, and that is the answer I gave, and I kept quiet. Miriam, back to you in the studios in Nairobi. What are the headlines? What is the weather? How far are we gone with this situation? Today is Friday, and we must be relaxed down here. Kwetu kwa baba hapana mtukufu, baba ya taifa, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, Kabarage Nyerere. Miriam, I remember 1978 when I was a young man working for 1 shilling, which was 30 shillings of Tanzanian money. 78 was that was huge money. And I lived in a place called Musasani, near the State House, in those boys' quarters. Makati wakubwa like Museveni and the others were big in the campus finishing up. There you are. Tanzania is a good home for very many people. I managed to meet quite a number of people down here those days. I remember, I have not forgotten my commander, Lieutenant, who is General Muzuguri Black Mamba. His children and grandchildren are my great friends. Whenever I come down here, I remember the first Lieutenant Colonel, a lady, who came along fighting along with us up to the end and until we removed the Idi Amin. So the Tanzania is a very good home. It gives me a signal. It makes me happy wherever I am. When I am, I'm doing all this for the sake of our journalism. Thank you very much. Back to you in the studio, Miriam. Let's go. Good morning, Douglas Kirimi. Good morning, and let's go as we wait for others to come.
All right. Thank you so much. They'll find us as continuing with the show, and I'll bring us the latest, what we have on our newspapers this morning. And on the Standard newspaper, the main headline, Good, Bad and Ugly of a Pandemic Year, released 5 months late. New economic data paints picture of a battered economy that shrank 0.3% and shared 700,000 jobs only saved by agriculture, even as factories grew silent and hotels shut down. So that is the main headline. And then just up there, CBC, no retreat, declares Magoha amid uproar. And then Treasury to release 2 billion Kenya shillings for relief food. It's a witch hunt, says Waiguru on EACC summons. The story is on page 20. And then we go to the Daily Nation, where the main headline, massive job losses as economy takes a hit. And then just up there, regional champs, brilliant Kenyans girls win Sekafa titles. And the trouble with Laikipia operation officers on the ground say they have not received orders to shoot at the marauding gangs. The story is on page 12. And then ODM moots alliance with PNU. The story is on page 10 of the Daily Nation. We go to the Star. And Raila and Kalonzo craft fresh power deal for 2022. Top job, wiper boss for ODM's leader running mate in 2013 and 2017 elections. And then just up there, OKS big dilemma to join another alliance or push through to 2022. And then beside that, Code Waiguru be Mudavadi's running mate. And then Kenya's economy survives COVID as GDP hits 10.7 trillion Kenya shillings. And then Rachel works in construction to pay college fees. That is a story of another young lady here in Kenya who's working to find her way up there. The story is on page 16. So, Doc, that's what we have on the front pages of the newspapers this morning. So perhaps we start with the, the headline on the Stand. I think yesterday we were talking about it here, Doctor, and now it appears that Raila and Kalonzo are crafting a fresh power deal for 2022 top job.
First of all, Miriam, I told you, we said Kalonzo has no alternative but to craft a new deal, a deal that will see him come closer to power. The MPs who are coming up to threaten Kalonzo here and there, these are not MPs that can make any change, because the dynamics of the politics of Kenya is that you need some people in order to be with you, for you to climb to the highest ladder of leadership. So Kalonzo knows very well that standing alone in this election, you cannot win the seat that you are looking for. In fact, if Kalonzo, who has been condemning Ruto and who has been against Ruto for a long time, and finds himself that he wants to fight Ruto alone, he will end up either be forced by his MPs to make a pact with Ruto at the end of the day. So joining now and making a full pact that is guaranteed by other people who will be there so that tomorrow there are no changes, is the best way that one can do, Miriam, and that is the way things should be going and the way things are going to come. Many people, these arguments that we see are push, and pull. We see them coming from, because some people, you can't run that campaign of 4 billion Kenya shillings without friends. You need friends. You need people to chip in. You need a very well organized, tight, approach, which can deliver you the same results of elections. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Douglas, from what we've been seeing happening with this OKA, alliance that is not really on paper. They're still in the process of trying to formalize it, but they've not yet. But from what we've seen, it does not seem as though they'll go ahead and formalize it on paper. Are the rest of the former NASA leaders likely to follow Kalonzo back to having a political working agreement with Raila? Douglas.
Good morning to you, Miriam Ogutu, and also to Dr. David Matsanga. Miriam, we need to also ask ourselves a very straight question as far as this issue is concerned. We said before that these leaders cannot be able to do something for themselves. Why? Because these are the same leaders who have not galvanized support for themselves even across the country. So it would have been a very bad kind of a perspective if I say that these people have not been planning to join the Right Honorable Raila Odinga for his own presidential ambition. Because Miriam, I said before that Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, for the last 4 years, he has not galvanized enough support for him to be able to be president. For you to be president in this country, Miriam, you have to have support of major regions in this country. We have only seen Kalonzo Musyoka being defended and being supported from his own backyard. Even in Meru, where he went to school, at Meru School, we have not seen more of Kalonzo Musyoka in this region. All we have seen is Raila Odinga and also not much of Raila Odinga, though. All we have seen in Meru is William Ruto and all that. How do you compete with such a man in 2022, 10 months to elections, Miriam? They need to be a bit serious. They need to be able to get out. And I've seen that with Gideon Moi. He has tried to get out of his Baringo backyard. And he has tried to reach out to more people and more people and more people. And tried to galvanize support across the country. What we need to see from these leaders, Miriam, is seriousness that for them to be able to go forward, they need to show some presidential seriousness, in quote, some presidential seriousness. All I have said before, and I will repeat this morning again, Miriam, is that these leaders are on their way to supporting the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, and they cannot be able to do much without the support of the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. And Miriam, I have said before that these leaders, when you look at them, they have not been able to be serious presidential contenders. Like you have said, their One Kenya Alliance agreement or gentleman's agreement was not formalized. There was no good structures for them to be able to run a campaign on One Kenya Alliance. All we have seen is retreats after one retreat from one resort to another, threatening the people of Kenya that they are going to run for president and unveil their leader or their presidential candidate in October. But what we have seen before October is almost almost to October. All we have seen is disintegration and people joining their own functions and trying to prop themselves for president. All I can ask them, Miriam, is to join the Right Honorable Raila Odinga before it is too late. Before Raila crosses his doors on his former rise, they need to join him very quickly so that they can form a formidable next government if they wish to do so. Because Raila is on his way to State House, they need to join the bandwagon. Thank you, Miriam.
Okay, thank you so much. Doc, are the rest of the former NASA leaders likely to go back and have a working relationship with Raila as well, or we're likely to see some of them even join Deputy President William Ruto in order? Doc?
Miriam, I think there is pressure. I am told that Gideon is making an announcement today. Sometime today, is making an announcement as regards his stand. Mm-hmm. And I believe the stand is to support Raila Amolo Odinga. I think that it will be very good politics for KANU. Raila came out and supported KANU several times. On several occasions, he stood by KANU. He stood by President Arap Moi. It would be very good for Gideon Moi to stand up and say, let me be with Raila. Let's form a united Kenya, a united purpose, unity of purpose, as Martha Karua has put it. Unity of purpose. It is Martha Karua who has actually made Waiguru. We shall talk about that later. Mm-hmm. It is very, very juicy. But the point is, nominations are going to decide. Any political pundit will tell you nominations towards to be an MP Look at Douglas Kirimi. He's a staunch Jubilee member. But because someone squeezed him out of the nomination of Jubilee Party, Douglas Kirimi ended up looking for another party, a smaller party, to go and stand. And we are praying for him to win an election. But Jubilee nominations, every time when you are doing political science, nominations are always the very, not only here. You see in America, they even make people very, very